Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Not again. Yeah, I learned the game from William Wesley. You can never check me. Back to back for that didn't get the message. Back to back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97. Whoa, very important and very pretentious. When I
back in segment 2. So we got one major story that we've been waiting on for quite some time here. Tom Brady finally had finally have reached a ruling on his appeal for his suspension that was passed down for him because of Deflategate. We're all tired of hearing about it by now, but finally something has moved towards getting some sort of closure on this. The NFL has decided they will not reduce his suspension, and they upheld the suspension. So as it stands right now, Tom Brady is still for those 4 games at the beginning of the NFL season, which I believe that most of us thought would be reduced.
Yeah, because he's the poster boy of the NFL. Like, you just knew it was going to be reduced.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get sat for a half or something like that.
For the first opening.
Exactly. First 2 snaps off, and he can come back.
Rumor is actually that they had it down to 1 game suspension, but he wanted the entire case to be sealed again. That's just what the rumors.
Yeah, and then I also read that they would have cut it in half if he'd have admitted to doing it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, he also is find himself in this problem because they're saying that he destroyed him as well. Like when they did the he destroyed the phone.
So it's almost like he was tampering with the evidence or trying to disrupt the investigation. It just didn't seem kosher, if you will. I mean, it's not illegal for him to do that, but it just did not seem right, and you should realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess I was kind of surprised that he didn't. That it was. Well, I am really surprised that it wasn't reduced. But it seems like he's very petty as far as like he didn't want to give them anything to reduce it. And kudos from me to the NFL and Roger Goodell for upholding the appeal. I don't think that Roger Goodell should be sitting over appeals for stuff like that. But I mean, I think they came out on the right end of this. So.
Well, actually, I was going to ask everybody like what your thoughts were in terms of due process. You know, this is a violation of the NFL rules, but there was no specific repercussion from violating this policy. You know, they gave this man 4 games, which is the same suspension they give for people who are domestic abusers or whatever the case may be. And there's been a lot of backlash because of this. And just what are your thoughts on that?
Not to sound insensitive, but I actually believe that these kind of offenses are worthy of a more strict suspension than like domestic abusers and whatnot, because you're actually tampering with the game. Like, it's within the confines of the game. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that those guys that, you know, they abuse their wives or like they shouldn't be penalized. I think that when it comes to penalizing somebody for something that for something within the game, I think the biggest penalty should be towards people who have cheated or basically people who have cheated or done something to violate the game itself. So yeah, I have no problem.
I understand. So I mean, I guess you would put it along the lines, if you could compare it to something or make it equivalent to another violation like PEDs or something, right?
Yeah.
What is the violation or the discipline that occurs if you're found guilty of taking PEDs?
I think it's about 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games.
All right, well, I guess it can be arguably are consistent.
Huh?
For first-time offenders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember when a year ago or 2 years ago, or it might have been 3 years ago, when Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner or whatever his name is. They were suspended for using what was it, Ritalin?
No, Adderall.
Adderall, thank you.
Adderall.
Yeah, they got 4-game suspensions for that, and I think they both were able to get them reduced, but they originally passed down a 4-game suspension.
But Browner got busted again, though, right?
Yeah. So they extended his longer.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, shouts to the NFL.
Yeah, I think they got this one right. I'm sorry. I know Eric was upset, and he said they don't have any evidence and whatnot, but
they don't have a lot of evidence a lot of times when they suspend players. When they
exactly
suspended Ray Rice last year, before that video came out, it was a 2-game suspension without anything but an allegation. Then after the video came out and there was social media backlash and everything else, that's when the full-year suspension came on top of what they had already given.
I want to correct you a little bit because I have problems retracing that sequence too. Because remember, first we did have a video. We had the video of him dragging her off.
We didn't have the inside the elevator.
Right. But we had the video of him dragging her off the elevator.
But that's all, as a lot of people like to say, circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't show anything outside of he dragged a potentially drunk girl off the elevator. Whatever the case may be. We did not see the actual infraction.
But you got circumstantial and then you got common sense, right? So, those guys...
So that's what
in the NFL, they could say, like, I took... How I was smoking weed? Because I failed tests. I think that technically you can boil down anything and say, like, that's circumstantial. You can say, look, I wasn't smoking weed. You can't prove that. Sure, the test says that there's THC in my body, but, you can always make some sort of argument. I just think that eventually...
Well, no, I think there's a difference between circumstantial and cold, hard evidence that you can have, but to your point, there's common sense that's also implied here. And the fact is that in the NFL, they're their own entity. They don't have to abide specifically to prove in the court of law.
Right.
If the NFL says they want to suspend somebody for a violation, they have every right to do that because they operate under their own rules and regulations.
Right. All right.
So, kudos.
Yeah, kudos to them. Also,
Le'Veon Bell got reduced to 2 games from 3 games. So Black Lives Matter.
Also in the NFL, you had Jamal Charles. He found himself in the news because, for a good reason. Jamal Charles went and spoke at the Special Olympics, and
they're in Los Angeles this year.
Yeah, and to much people's surprise, Jamal Charles, it was revealed that he himself, at 10 years old, was a participant in the Special Olympics. Because Jamal Charles had learning disabilities, he was in the Special Olympics and he won. And I just thought about that because when I looked at that, I was like, that's kind of messed up. He shouldn't be in the Special Olympics.
I immediately thought about that movie, The Ringer.
Yeah.
The Johnny Knoxville movie.
It's a great movie. It's really effed up, but it's a great movie.
I actually walked out of that movie because I felt bad watching it. Because they had real special people in there,
right?
And I just didn't feel right watching it. But anyway, I guess it's kind of funny because when I think about Special Olympics, I think of more of a physical handicap, or disability, not
a learning disability.
Because they could host a home run derby and Bryce Harper say he's dyslexic. Does he qualify?
Right.
So he's out there dropping 30 bombs against, kids with, muscular dystrophy.
Right.
I know it's exaggerating it, but that's how I view it.
No,
because Jamal Charles is no slow guy.
No, I'm with you.
Well, he said he discovered he was fast at the Special Olympics, so that's when it was first revealed that he was a fast fellow.
Nah, that doesn't count. People with learning disabilities should not be in the Special Olympics. It's not like they were doing they weren't doing a spelling bee. If there was a spelling bee in the Special Olympics, then I can understand him being a participant. But
exactly.
you're running.
Well, not for nothing though, man. I've been watching a little bit of the Special Olympics on ESPN and on my Snapchat, and those guys and girls are actually very skilled athletes. I mean, they're a lot more skilled than you're probably thinking right now. I know what you're thinking when you think Special Olympics in your head, but I mean, they're really competing at a very high level.
I mean, it's funny as a movie The Ringer was. I mean, they actually did have like real like Special Olympians and whatnot, and they all weren't like. I mean, how can I say this properly? Like they all.
It wasn't an empathetic or it's like a sympathetic like judging of their character. These athletes were truly competing against each other.
Like I understand they're real athletes out there. Just because you could have Asperger's or something like that, and you can still be a real athlete, and you can still run around the track and whatnot. But I mean, even somebody that has what was that? What autistic? Somebody that's autistic, right? Somebody that's severely autistic. I would not think that it would be fair to match that person up against somebody who is dyslexic and has a reading disability. Like,
hold up. And Peo was fast as hell. Did you not see my man? My man was fast.
I don't want to bash my man, but yeah, he used to sneak around, get them kisses real quick.
Yeah,
he was a character dude.
Kiss and run.
Yeah, that dude was a character, man.
He's a good guy, and he still hits me up from time to time. I actually volunteered at the school that his father teaches at in Baltimore. So. Oh yeah. Yeah, so he hits me up from time to time on Facebook.
Yeah, he loves to comment on people's Facebook pages. Don't put out no picture with you and a pretty woman. He's gonna like that, John. He might put a comment under.
If just put heart eyes under her pic.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up. We'll come back with segment 3. We'll talk about the issue with athletes who are opting to either stay or go and meet with their wives that are in labor. And then we'll also talk about Hulk Hogan, who actually just pretty much erased from the WWE record book. So we'll be back.
Was that a punt? Erased.
Oh, you're stretching it there, buddy.
That was a reach. That was an outside spot. Want him to reach.
All right, we'll be back with segment 3.
They just mad cause I got the Midas touch. You love her, then you gotta get a world tour. Is that a world tour or your girl's tour? I know that you gotta be a thug for her. This ain't what she meant when she told you to open up more. Yeah, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. Yeah, you getting body by singing. And I'm not the type of that'll type of. And shout to all my balls, please, wife and